Motion hearing going on right now in the Derek Chauvin trial. Jury selection to start soon after a day yesterday that saw 2 jurors excused and then 2 more jurors added. We started the day yesterday with 9 jurors. The 7 who were selected before news broke of the $27 million settlement between the city of Minneapolis and George Floyd's family. They were all re-questioned yesterday morning. Didn't take long, but 2 were removed after they said they felt the news would impact their impartiality. Then another day of jury selection went forth. 2 more jurors were added, bringing that total back up to 9.
Let's head into the courtroom for a live look there. Judge Peter Cahill and the attorneys, that's a defense attorney Eric Nelson, they're once again talking about video of a May 2019 arrest of George Floyd, and they're talking about whether or not that can be included in the trial. The defense does want that video included. The prosecution does not. The judge says he will likely decide on that tomorrow. He's also expected to rule tomorrow on the defense request for the trial to be delayed, even moved out of Minneapolis. That request was made after the civil settlement was announced last Friday. Now, we are joined now by criminal defense attorney and legal analyst Joe Tamburino. Joe, thanks for being with us this morning. Let's talk about what the attorneys and the judge are talking about right now, this motion to include the 2019 arrest. Will the judge grant it, do you think?
Well, he's already stated that he will partially grant it, and what the attorneys are arguing about this morning is very interesting, because what they're doing is basically arguing if one side does something, is the other side allowed to counteract it? The state wants to call a Dr. Vincent, and if that happens, would the defense be allowed to argue what happened in the May 2019 arrest? It's really interesting.
Because the reality, Joe, and we just learned the judge said he'd take it under advisement. He's not going to, and certainly there's no urgency for him to make a ruling on this right now, but he said he will consider this. The issue here is that we do know the facts of the recent interaction as far as behavior. This is one of the distinctions that the attorneys were talking about, right? As you watch the video, you know what George Floyd was doing when Derek Chauvin started the process to take him into custody. What you don't know is really what he was thinking or why he was doing what he was doing, right?
Well, that's exactly right. The Attorney General is saying that, well, the way Mr. Floyd was acting in May 2020 with then Officer Chauvin is because he was in a traumatic event and claustrophobic. And the defense is arguing, well, no, that's not the case. It's just that's the way he acts when he's confronted by police. So it's really interesting. You got these 2 different sides to the coin, and the judge will be the final arbiter as to which side wins.
The court has now taken a 10-minute recess before they get back started again with jury selection. Joe, we know yesterday the judge appeared frustrated that some of these jurors had heard about the settlement between the city and the family of George Floyd, and now has extended the time. He was supposed to make a decision on whether or not the trial would be moved or delayed. He's now going to do that tomorrow. Why that delay? What is he thinking about now?
He's thinking of a couple of things. He wants to see how today proceeds, because you're right, the case was moving along very well, and then yesterday it sort of ground down because of all the information that the jurors had received about the settlement and such. So he's going to be thinking, how is the case going to proceed today? Can they get more jurors? And then he has to decide whether there are any other factors that could influence this case which would necessitate moving it. I still think the odds are low that he's going to move the case, but it could happen.
Yeah, I was struck by how many of the potential jurors knew of the settlement. It's a high number. So even when jurors are trying to avoid the news, in today's day and age, it's almost impossible, right? It pops up in your Facebook, it shows up all over the place.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, you know, when I was a kid, you only saw the news when you saw your parents get the newspaper and put it on the kitchen table, or when they turned on the TV at 5:30. Now it's everywhere. You just can't avoid it.
Yeah. Joe Tamburino, thank you. Joe will be with us on CBSN Minnesota. You can watch that jury selection expert analysis. Starting at 10, we'll have all of the jury selection for you live.